Hello and welcome to Westpac's Davidson Institute. This short video is from the Starting a Business series and is on the statutory obligations of a business owner. When starting a business, it's important to understand your statutory and legal obligations, as you'll need to spend time and money to be compliant. If you're not compliant, it may lead to substantial fines, audits and remedial work that could jeopardise your business. So it's very important to ensure you understand your statutory obligations. There are four main areas to look at with regard to your statutory obligations: registrations and licenses, taxes, superannuation, and employee entitlements. Let's start with registrations and licenses. Firstly, you'll need an ABN, or Australian Business Number, which is a unique number that identifies your business. Amongst other things, your ABN should be recorded on all invoices, as if you don't quote an ABN on your invoices, then your business clients must withhold 49% withholding tax from any payment they make to you, which you then need to claim back from the ATO at a later date. You'll also need a TFN, or tax file number, which identifies your business to the tax office. Sole traders will use their own personal TFN, but partnerships, companies and trusts will be issued with their own tax file number. If you're going to be structured as a company, then you'll need to register with ASIC, the Australian Securities and Investment Commission, who will issue you with an ACN, or Australian Company Number. AUSKey is a relatively recent addition to the list of identifiers. It's a secure logon that identifies the business when it uses a government online service such as the ATO Business Portal. There are also various federal, state and local council regulations requiring different licensing and registrations for various industries. The Australian Business Licence and Information Service helps find this information about government licences, permits, approvals and so on. So ensure that you visit ablis.business.gov.au for that information. And finally, unless you're going to operate just under your own name, then you need to register your business or trading name. A sole trader can simply use their own name, such as Mick Brown. But as soon as you add anything to it, such as Mick Brown's Garage, then that name needs to be registered. A company can also use its own name, but again, if you wish to use anything other than the registered company name, it also needs to be registered as a business name. The second area we'll address here is taxes, starting with the GST, or Goods and Services Tax. If your business provides goods or services on which GST is applicable, then you must register to collect GST if your GST turnover exceeds $75,000 or if you're a taxi operator. The GST of 10% needs to be included in your price and recorded on your invoice or receipt. The GST you collect and the GST that you pay are reported to the ATO in your Business Activity Statement, or your BAS. Depending on the size of your business, your BAS can be completed monthly, quarterly or annually. It's a good idea to discuss with your accountant which is the most suitable for your business and your cash flow. Another tax you'll need to manage is PAYG, or Pay As You Go Withholding Tax. You'll need to register for PAYG if you are withholding monies from payments to others, such as a business that does not have an ABN, or the taxes that you withhold from employee wages. Again, this tax being withheld from payment needs to be collected and submitted to the tax office. Now, you may also be paying PAYG instalments yourself based on your anticipated income, which are then netted against your end-of-year tax return. FBT, or Fringe Benefits Tax, is applicable when providing benefits to either yourself or your employees, such as the private use of a business motor vehicle. Now, this one's a complex tax and best discussed with your accountant. You may also be subject to state taxes, such as payroll tax, which applies if your total payroll exceeds a certain amount. Of course, this may not be applicable if you're just starting out in business. These are just a few of the taxes that you will need to manage. For more information, refer to the ATO website and your accountant. If you employ people, another area you need to stay abreast of is superannuation. As an employer, you are required to make contributions to your employee's superannuation fund. This is known as the superannuation guarantee. Any employee who is 18 years or over and earns $450 or more before tax in a month is entitled to a percentage of the amount they are paid to be contributed to their super in addition to their wages. This percentage is currently 9.5%, with gazetted increases over the next few years. There are very tough penalties if this obligation is not adhered to, and lots of legislation involved. So make sure you talk to your accountant and get this one right. And of course, there is more information also available on the ATO website. And lastly, you should understand your obligations as an employer and what your employees are entitled to. There are rules around what employees are entitled to at work, including, but not limited to, hours of work, rates of pay, and leave entitlements. The National Employment Standards sets out the 10 minimum entitlements that must be provided to all employees. In remunerating or paying your employees, ensure you're familiar with the Modern Award, which sets the minimum employment wages and conditions for an industry or occupation. Award details and other information can be found on the Fair Work Ombudsman's website, fairwork.gov.au. Some of the other information that can be sourced from the Davidson Institute on starting a business is the rest of this series of videos on turning your vision into a plan, business structures, cash management and risk management. Or there are live webinars, Getting Started in Business, Foundations of Business Planning, Foundations of Cash Flow, and Understanding Financial Statements. Or you can download the written guide, Ready for Business. Thank you for viewing this video on statutory obligations. We wish you every success with starting your business.